Legendary MoneyB. Hold up. Legendary MoneyB.
Hold up. Slow down, baby. I'm trying to holler on that EPMD tip. Take me for a clown, we can keep it on the down low, long as you know that I get around. Up around the cup and jump and stop them like I chill a tiptoe.
Good evening, everyone. You are now tuned in tonight with Real Talk with TML. I am your host, Miss TML. I am so excited about this guest tonight, and it means so much to me for so many different reasons. I just want to tell you how influential you are to this music culture that we call hip hop, and how important you were to me, seeing you from I Get Around to, all the different things that you've done in music, and just knowing that you're so magnetic and so believable and so likable. And I think that is a great character that you have in this music industry. So I want to introduce you to MoneyB, the legendary artist of the group Digital Underground. We have my co-host here tonight, Mark Slade. Mark actually was my guest last week on the show. He does a show called The Rant podcast, and he just talks about different, Black man struggles, opinions, views on politics, on sports, on everything. Mental health awareness is important as well in regards to why he started this podcast, and just having that voice and having that view. And Mark expressed to me that one of his biggest influences was Tupac. And I said, you have to do this interview with me, with MoneyB, because I feel like, there was so many people that related to Tupac and related to Digital Underground. And I think that because what you guys were expressing and how you were expressing it, it made people really relate. And just having the theatrics and the characters and the different people that played a part was so influential. So I just want to give you your flowers, King, because I believe that you are a king in this, and I'm just humble and grateful.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me. What up, Mark Slade?
What's going on, my brother?
You got it. I see you got all the pop stuff going on back there. You got the Funko Pops. Which ones you got? Who you got?
I ain't playing. You see my ashtray?
Which Funko Pops do you have?
Oh, I collect Funko Pops. I got a whole crap of them. But here goes the guy right here.
Oh yeah. I have I got the Flavor Flav back there.
Okay.
Oh, you got Flavor Flav?
Yeah, I got Flav. I had Flav and Chuck, but I gave my my Chuck D to Kwame. He's a big
what do I got Chuck D?
I got Flav.
Chuck D for you? No, I got Jam Master J and Jam Master Run DMC.
Yeah, and so Tupac, they just did his star in Hollywood, right? The Walk of Fame. So right across the street from where Tupac's star is the big Funko Pop store.
Oh
right?
my goodness.
So I took my son down, and he was just like, when can we leave? So right after that, we went across the street, and they got all the big, huge Funko Pops, everybody, LeBron James, and you can actually make yourself into a Funko Pop.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of doing Nipsey.
Yeah. So if you ever go down, if you're in LA, come see Tupac's star on the Walk of Fame and go right across the street and go to the Funko Pop store.
This is crazy.
It's dope.
Tupac leading me to
I
Funko
love
Pop.
it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now tell us, I mean, I got so many questions. Mark, do you want to go first, or do you want me? Because I'm, you know,
this is your show, baby. I'm just a fly on the wall right now.
Get it popping.
Man, it's been hip hop 50, man. I'm having a hip hop attack right now, brother. You don't even understand.
It's all good.
Go ahead, Todd. Do your thing.
So tell me, MoneyB, how did you get the name MoneyB? Tell me that first. What came about? How did that happen?
So I was MoneyB was just it was so random how I got that name because I've been MoneyB since I was like 13 years old, right? And at that time, before I decided that I thought I could be a rapper, I was a break dancer, I was a graffiti artist, I was a DJ. I went through the whole thing before I decided to go. At the time when I got the name, I was like 13, and I was a break dancer, like popping and doing all that stuff. And my name was Egyptian Kid because I used to do all the tuts and when I used to break and all of that stuff. But originally, my family's from Philadelphia, right? So even though I grew up in Oakland and in the Bay Area, my family's from Philly. So back in that time, this is let's say 83, 84-ish. And I asked my cousin who was with me, because you had Steady B and everybody Money T, and everybody was money something, Money T, money, cash money, this money, that money. And so I was with my cousin Greg, shout out to Greg. One day we was walking down the street and I was like, bro, should I be Egyptian Kid or should I change it to MoneyB? And he just looked at me, he was like, MoneyB. And I was like, okay. And that was it. And that was MoneyB.
That was it.
Yeah.
That worked.
Yeah. So, I do tell people MoneyB.
But you influenced.
Go ahead and say it again. I'm listening.
You influenced so many money names, I think.
Well, yeah. So what I was saying,
I don't remember any MoneyBs or any money anything.
Well, there's a lot of MoneyBs now, which I'm trying to deal with that. But yes, I always tell people that a name is what you make it, right? Because at the time, MoneyB was just money, and B is my last name. It starts with a B. But it was what I put into it that made the name become what it is today. So I always say, like, the title of something doesn't matter. It's what you do with the title that really becomes influential or memorable, or however you want to call it.
Wow.
I like that answer.
That's dope. That's dope.
I like that. So tell me, what first got you into music? When did you decide
that I wanted to do it? Probably maybe a couple of years before I became MoneyB. Like I said, my family's originally from Philadelphia, so I used to every summer go visit my grandmother and my cousins back east to Philly. So every summer I would go, and then I just remember one summer I went, and I had older cousins that I used to kind of hang out with, and they took me to like I used to follow them and go to like park jams and when they had like the DJs out in the schoolyard and everything like that. I was experiencing hip hop as it was being created. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, that's crazy.
this is like, 81, 82, something like that. And so, where they would record the party, and then the next day we would all sit around and listen to the cassette on the boombox and just relive the party the next day. So, I was just really influenced by that. And then that same cousin and another older cousin, they used to collect records. So they would buy all of the Earth, Wind and Fire and Marvin Gaye, all of the, Kool and the Gang, all of those records.
The legend.
But then when hip hop started coming, they were collecting those records, Spoonie G and Grandmaster Flash and Treacherous 3 and all of that stuff. And as I got older and decided that this is what I wanted to do, that's why I said I was a DJ first, because I had access to all of these records, and my cousins were getting older, and I'm like, let me get those records. And they would give me records that I would bring back to California. And then, that's how I first started collecting, vinyl and stuff like that. So, from a very early age, I was influenced, and it became my life.
Now that's dope. That's a dope story. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's so inspirational, because again, that's where it started for you. That was what made you fall in love with the, culture, and just knowing that you deserved a spot in this place, in this culture, and you've given it to us over and over again. I just, I think back to when I first seen like Tupac, and I didn't know at the time that he was a part of another group. And then I seen I Get Around, and I was like, hey, I like this guy. He has cool friends. I mean, and that for me was when I first bought into pop as a female, and not necessarily as an artist, because I was like, this party is appealing. These people are appealing to me. I mean, MoneyB was that guy that everybody felt familiar with. And I felt like that was something that you guys just had, that bond and that chemistry. So how did that come about in regards to being a part of Digital Underground?
Well, I'll say about from what you said, it's, it probably looked like we were having fun, right? So that's what made it appealing. And we were. And that was we just had fun.
I wanted to be there.
Yeah, so it was always a fun vibe from the very beginning when Pop first joined us. It was like, if Pop wasn't a rapper, he could have been a comedian. He was just a funny dude, you know what I mean? And it was always with us, especially, we weren't in a room. We couldn't be in a room together more than 5 minutes without talking about each other's mamas and making jokes, talking about each other's shoes and making cracks on other people, and just having fun. Everything was just a joke. It was we had so much fun in those early days. So that's really what it was about, in those early days.
That's dope.
And we were being ourselves, and I believe that chemistry. And I believe it translated through the records as well, and that's sort of what kind of made it work, because we were being ourselves.
I felt that in everything that you guys did. It was a definite, I think that was my first like real experience of like a Wu-Tang to me. You know what I mean? I think
that on my mind.
I was. I tell people we were Wu-Tang before
all
Wu-Tang.
The different elements.
Yeah.
That's right. Like that for me was my experience.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say Wu-Tang. Goddamn it, Wu Wednesday out this mother.
Yep. Everybody that you saw in those videos and in early Digital Underground, we all had our own projects that we were working on. And Digital Underground was like the production team. Shock was the ringleader, Shock G. And it's like, we just got together. Let's make this thing happen. And then everybody's going to get their deal and everybody's going to do their thing. It was me and Fuse as Raw Fusion. It was Tupac. It was Pee Wee and Big Money Otis as Gold Money. It was Shmoovy Shmoov, who had his own thing singing.
Right.
Chop Master J ended up creating Big Brother Soul, who actually discovered Dave Hollister, which is why you heard, Dave appear. He was on Keep Your Head Up and Brenda's Got a Baby. That was like one of the first things that he did.
Right.
So yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You hit it dead on. We were Wu-Tang before Wu-Tang. And then I'm not gonna claim that we were the first people to do it because you got to go back to remember the Juice Crew with Marley Marl.
Juice Crew.
That's right.
Juice Crew with Big Daddy Kane, Master Ace.
What
Biz
tell
Markie,
me is one of your
Shante.
most yeah.
Say it again.
What was one of your most best experiences on tour?
On tour? I say a memorable one is one that you could actually see was when we have a couple, right? But when Kiss You Back first came out, right? That was the record, at least for me, that felt like we finally kind of broke through in New York, because, before that, Kiss You Back was a big record in New York, and, that's when we did the Apollo and everything like that. Watch when we were on the Apollo and the curtain opens, we do the Who's That Unknown Rapper thing where we have the bags on our head, then we take them off. The crowd just goes crazy. And I don't know if Shock was expecting that, because when it did, he got lost in it and he kind of he messed up and didn't say, he lost where he was at with the words and everything. And so I could tell that was a thing for him. But that was like, first time I met Red Alert, me and Tupac freestyled over Red Alert DJing at a party. It was just live back then. I have other ones touring Europe for 2 months before we were even known in the United States. Touring with Big Daddy Kane and Public Enemy, who, those were my heroes. And so to actually be on tour with Big Daddy Kane,
right.
doing shows with Rakim and Eric B. and Rakim and Kane and Public Enemy, and, becoming friend, getting to know your heroes is probably what I enjoyed, or what I cherished the most about those times.
That's great. That's great.
That's dope, MoneyB. I love that. That is like, I think that's one of the levels of success that I think people need to achieve. When you reach the level of meeting your heroes and your icons and the people that have inspired you. And I think that's part of my experience tonight with this podcasting thing. Now, I know you have a podcast, and it's called Bringing It Back, right?
There's the Wayback Gaming Show.
Do you still do the podcast?
I still do. I kind of took a short hiatus because we were doing so many shows recently, and I was doing the show on Sunday nights. But as of late, we've been sort of on the road, which is a blessing, right? To be able to go out and do what you love. But it's called the Wayback Gaming Show, so it's classic gaming. Young Hump in the building.
Young Hump.
What up, though?
What's up, sir?
What's up,
man?
Young
Hump? What's up, loved ones? What's up, man?
Condolences to you, my brother.
Thank you, family.
Word. I didn't share why you was late, but
right.
I had your back.
This is why I'm late. This lady over here, my grandmother, Helen Johnson, aka the One Nan, aka this lady over here.
Wow.
She where's she at? She over here somewhere. She that's her right there. Yeah, that ain't me. That's her right there. My mother's mother. She slid on to the other side, man. And so, I'm actually, this is a special interview because I'm actually sitting in her favorite chair. You know what I mean? So sending y'all all of her, if she was here, she would make sure to ask if she was here, but she is, but if she was speaking, she'd make sure to ask if y'all are hungry, if you'd like something to eat. That was what she was concerned with. So yeah. Blessings.
We send you healing energy, King. We send you nothing but love and healing energy.
I appreciate y'all, but let me not turn the party down, because the DU party don't stop. And my grandmother was lit. DU party don't stop, so we keeping energy high. I'm here Mon, talk to him. What we doing out
Keep
here,
it
baby? Talk to
cracking.
him.
You already know. That's what it do.
Yes.
That's love. Yeah, man.
Did he go?
How do y'all brothers feel? How do y'all brothers
I don't know.
feel about 50 years of hip hop and being involved in it? And MoneyB, another thing, when you was talking about the Apollo, that was real like nostalgia for me because I watched it. But to hear you explain it is a whole nother, like, I seen you bouncing on the stage, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? So for you to explain that shit, bro, that's a whole nother entity right there, man.
And the other thing that's crazy, if you go back and watch it again when we come out with the bags on our head, and you know, Mark Curry, who's the host, he's from Oakland as well, right? So when he's talking to us, and he's asking the question, you know, we're supposed to be from Beaumont, Texas, but you know, Shock was like, whatever you do, man, don't talk because he'll recognize my voice if I say something. So he's asked me a question, and I just go, and I point to Pee Wee. And, you know, it was just funny that we had it all mapped out and planned out. But, you know, we're talking about 50 years of hip hop. I think when I first learned, you know, when hip hop entered my life, there was no doubt in my mind that we would be here. You know what I mean? Because once it entered my life, I knew it would never leave. And I always thought, God willing, if I make it, it's gonna be around. You know what I mean? I'm gonna carry it if I don't do nothing else. And you know, so from its infancy, I just knew and like a lot of us that are from that same time, we just feel like this is the calling, this is us, this is it.
Yeah.
So I could never see one day going like, you know what? I'm gonna hang it up and become a doctor or whatever. Like, and just leave it behind. So, you know, it infiltrated us. And to be honest with you, we've always been hip hop because hip hop was just a reflection of us of the time, right? So it wasn't like we signed up for the class and then, you know, we're allowed a ticket to get into the culture. So we were the culture.
So let me introduce Young Hump because to my generation, you know, we knew Humpty, you know, and it was this magnetic force that I think that this character just came about. Nobody was sure if it was Shock G for years. I remember everybody kept denying, saying we don't know who it is. Is it an additional member to Digital Underground? And eventually it did come out, but it was something that I think Shock G did that was an alter ego. It was, you know, something that he, you know, spoke in a different form of himself. And I think that was something that changed hip hop. I think that Young Hump has embodied that. And this person is so important in hip hop. And just showing that part of the matrix of hip hop. So Young Hump, I want to say to you, thank you for carrying the torch, for taking the torch and owning this and giving us more of Hump to remember. Because I think this generation needs that.
Thank you, Queen. That means a lot. I appreciate that. I really do.
Yes. It takes a good man and a big man to fill Shock G's shoes. So I know you're gonna do it, and I know you're.
And I mean, and I got a great man with me, helping me every step of the way, giving me advice, tutelage, mentorship, brotherhood, and all of that. You know, good game. You know, from Mun. You know what I mean? Like, couldn't ask for a brother that to put you on the path better than him. You know what I mean? And yeah, and then Shock, you know, of course, who came with the original idea, you know, for me to do this. And it's just a beautiful thing. I just, you know, God's plan is amazing. We just all have to play our part and do what we're told to do and just deliver, you know what I mean? That's how I look at it. And it's just been so much fun because as I try to tell people, it'd be like, you know, like the funny thing about it is there's no other comparison, because there's nobody else in the history of hip hop that had an alter ego that you didn't know it was him. Like, people might be like, this me, but everybody knew what it was. There's nobody else that no one knew who it was, period. And it's like, rack your brain to even think of another one of those in any other genre of music. Like, the only thing like that is there's some comedians through history that did shit like that, where they had like a character, but not like music, and they would just show up separately as the other person, not like be the same person and two at the same time. Like, it's such a unique thing, and you know, to be brought into that, I feel like, you know, I was brought into a, you know, Houdini took me into the room and said, look, bro, this is the routine we doing, and you part of it now. Like, you know, it's some next shit. So it's just been, you know, so much fun. And, you know, and then just to add just a quote, but like, you know, if you watch the Tupac Resurrection, you know, when Tupac says, you know, the most fun he ever had in life was rocking with Digital Underground. I remember when I saw that, I wasn't rocking with him yet, so I'm just listening. But now, having experienced, you know, 7 going on 8 years of being part of Digital Underground, running around the world, all around the world with MoneyB, doing this thing, it's like I've never had more fun in my life. And it's like the fun, because that's the beauty of Digital Underground, is it's a fun thing. That's why, if you take note, Digital Underground can be paired up in shows with everybody from, we could do a show with Ice Cube and Exhibit and Bone Thugs and Harmony and Too Short, but then we could be doing a show over here with Johnny Gill and 112 and Drew Hill. I mean, not John, pardon me, I'm sorry, Keith Sweat and 112 and Drew Hill. And then we could be doing a show over here with Lisa Cult Jam and Kool and the Gang. So we just did a show recently with Howard Hewitt and Case. So our music is so, you know, the music I'm allowed to, you know, to participate in now, you know, it's just a blessing to be part of such a special, unique, you know, organization, team, group, movement, posse, squad, you know, collective chariot full of ill niggas, all of that, whatever you want to call
it. That's it. You know, it's funny.
Right.
Hump,
and you fit the image.
He could be the author of alter egos for artists. You know what I'm saying? You got Beyonce with her little alter ego. You got M and Shady. You got, you know what I'm saying? So many different artists.
RZA with Bobby Digital.
Come on.
Cool Keith with Dr. Octagon. But
Let's go.
The beauty of it is all respect to everybody, but Shock G is the only one that pulled it off where you didn't know. Like you said, people 20, 30 years later still unclear who was it, one individual. Everybody else, the second they said something else, it was never a second of confusion. Everybody know that's Beyonce. Everybody know that's RZA. Everybody know that's shout out to Kent Racker, Shock's brother.
Shock G, he shocked the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
You know who actually?
So tell me,
I'm not going to say fooled me, but who just switched their identity, and for a long time I didn't realize it. It was MF Doom coming from TML, right?
Yeah.
Because I know Doom, like we toured together, one of our first tours. And they, you know, those was my younger dudes. I had them all in my apartment and kind of looking out for them and everything. But I didn't know for years that he became MF Doom, right? Because he never took the thing off. And then I was like, what? It's like, I know that
nigga. And you're right, because he would actually be, because he's the only person, like you said, that attained that where you didn't know was the other dude. But the interesting thing about it was never simultaneous. And
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's why I said the only one that was kind of like, but it wasn't the same thing. And then, and like I said, you know, I'm not gonna take credit for it, but he did tour under us and watched us do it. So I'm sure that inspired him to let him know that could happen.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because you know, we toured it. Remember, they were
that's crazy.
they did the gas face with third base, and so it was Big Daddy Kane third base, Digital Underground, MC Light, I believe. No, like Queen Latifah, and they, third base bought them along. So those was just young dudes, so they would see it every night. So I'm sure that was an influence.
Wow.
Some of us on the East Coast thought Pac was Big Psych. real talk. Real in like 9-7. Some of the East Coast, some of us, we thought it was Pac. We thought he tweaked his voice a little bit.
Well, I would like to take this time to mention that a lot of around that time in Pac's last days in Death Row, or when you guys learned about him a lot of his, because he was living in LA, and a lot of the slang and things that he would say, his speech patterns, did kind of come from Big Sight, Surge, and the Thug Life crew that he was hanging with originally before Death Row. Because the first person, Psych was the first person I ever heard say "baby, baby," but he'd be like, "Come on," he's like, "Money B, baby." He used to say that, and then you just said something else, but yeah, a lot of that swag came from just Psych and the Thug Surge and the Thug Life little cats, Rated R and Macadocious and those guys, but more Psych than anything. And so I don't know if it was Psych individually, and Psych is from Inglewood. And the other thing amazing about that is he was a Crip from Inglewood. And there's no Crips in
So I've heard.
Special brother.
Brother. So I mean, so I don't know if it was from his neighborhood or what it was, but a lot of that stuff that how Pop used to talk, I heard Big Psych say it first. So it makes sense that you would think, because their speech patterns sort of morphed into each other in a sense.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Y'all talking about the 50 years of hip hop. Like, one of the beautiful things about the 50 years of hip hop is all these conversations, all the history that's being revealed, and like for everybody that already can feel it, but just so it's stated clear, MoneyB is one of the grand MoneyB is like, if you made one of those, they make those movies where like somebody's looking for like a certain sword or crystal, and they got to travel to different parts of the world to talk to the people that, like, you have to go over there and talk to this nigga because he can tell you about this. MoneyB is one of the people you should speak to that knows the collection of things he knows from different time periods and places is very exclusive and one of one.
It's vast. It's vast.
Facts, man. You know what I mean?
Like, we should have a definite hip hop squares. Oh my God, hosted by MoneyB. That would be dope.
He
would win. No, he would win. Because Mon is gonna fuck y'all up, because it'd be the shit that he know, like it ain't just where he was with what rapper doing what and talking about that. It's also like, you want to talk about the records, he knows the break beats that niggas was using, he knows who was like, he knows shit, and it'd be like, because you know how naturally most people look at an artist, a person in general, but you look at the region they're from. So you're gonna assume, because MoneyB, you think Oakland, so you're gonna think West Coast, but he gonna talk you out of your East Coast knowledge real quick before he even, like, you don't even need, like, he don't even, like, how in Jeopardy people go for like the easy shit. Mon can talk to you about the East Coast shit and beat you before he goes to foods with the letter Q that he got 12 of already. Like, that's easy. He'll talk to you about like East Coast breakbeats, and then don't start talking to him about the when the down south shit started really kicking. He know all the, forget about it. It's like, Mon knows his shit through and through. And I know some shit too, but Mon, that's another
historian.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely. Yep.
And you definitely have a eclectic ear. I'm talking to Young Hump, because I heard you shout out some names of some people that you were working on projects with, and I was like, oh wow, like, he digs deep. in regards to the type of collabs and the people that you're interested in working with. So I do see that with you, and I see that you're a realist when it comes to your sound and your music. So tell me, who are some people that you would like to collab with now? I know I seen that was in like 2020 or 21.
Okay. Well, before I say that, I want to say also too, as you were saying that, I was thinking, this is not to just be to be like just for the sake of spreading love, but just truly, like, if you make a list of the entire extended Do What You Like posse, everybody that's digital underground, like, related, what you said pertains to all of them. Like, we Mun's day one. I'm here at the point I came in. We're the front men. The other people, there's layers of people that were more involved, that toured, that don't tour as much now. But all of them have eclectic musical taste. I really think, if anything, that's probably the one, like, besides just being cool, but that's like the one kind of almost like prerequisite you sort of have to be down with, to be part of the music. I mean, to be down with us, you can be down with us, whatever, but just to be like part of us musically, you really have to be a motherfucker that likes every flavor in the fruit punch. You can't just be somebody that only rocks with apple and strawberry. You got to get with that banana and that apple and that pineapple and that mango kiwi. Right. So that's kind of just one of our things. I'm thinking about people, like, I'm thinking about like the DJs in our group that the average person would never know. They play, when they DJ, they play. I'm not talking about DJ Fuse. I'm talking about further, more extended, like, all of them have different wild tastes. So anyways, just wanted to throw that out there because we all share that. But people I like to work with right now, man, I really want to work with that boy Buju Banton, man. I want to work with Buju Banton. You know what I mean? We do the dance hall stuff up. I'd like to work with Top Dollar Sign, man. Talk that fly shit. I'd like to work with what's his name? Knots, producer. I like to work with. I never worked with Quick. Mun has. I never have. I like to work with Quick. I'd like to work with DJ Muggs and I'd like to work with the whole Wu-Tang Clan. I'd like to work with anybody from NWA. All of that. You know what I mean? Like Dog Pound. I never worked. Daz mentioned doing something, we ain't done it yet. Mun, of course, done shit with Daz. I haven't got to that point yet, but all over the place, man. But yeah, definitely some. I'd like to do something low key with Soulja Boy. I fuck with Big Draco. You know what I mean? I love to tap in with these different types of flavors and people. Busta Rhymes, Split Star. You know what I mean? People like that. You know what I mean?
I can see that. I can definitely see that.
You know what I mean? I fuck with SZA.
MoneyB, you want to answer that? I feel like you, MoneyB, have worked with so many people, but is there anybody in your record or in your book that you want to put on that bucket list right now?
It's hard because I think that if I really think about it, I've recorded with a good number of, like I was saying earlier, what I consider my hip hop heroes. I've worked with them. So everything else is just gravy on top. You know what I mean? Like if I really think about it, I'm sure there's some people out there if I can think hard. Who, Young Hump? You give me some names.
Well, I know Tom Teasy gonna bust through the door and say Beyonce.
We'll see.
I would love to hear you on a song with Beyonce. I'm down too.
I mean, I'd be down, but I don't aspire to.
I know. I just couldn't.
Beyonce. I'd rather say. Let me think. Who's out there?
You would want to rock with what's that group? We would listen. Like motherfucking The Time or something. Morris Day.
The Time. Morris Day. I would love that.
Me too.
Morris Day.
Dog alive. Oh we.
Oh man, I love. Yeah, The Time is one of my all-time favorite groups. So, and Morris Day is right up my alley. You know what I mean? I kind of borrowed some of that swag from Morris Day.
What dance hall artist would you want to work with? Number one.
I know you said Buju. For me,
Spice.
Huh?
Spice. Oh my goodness. She's the queen.
You know, I'm old school. You know, I always loved. Oh, Vibes.
Vibes, yeah.
If Vibes could be around, I would rock with Vibes for sure. You know,
that would be a dope collab.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who I gotta throw in there? I'd love to rock with, man.
Who?
Of course, Redman. But I was gonna say, motherfucking Devin the Dude.
See, I've recorded with Devin the Dude.
You did?
Yeah, we did a song on his album, on one of his albums.
Wow, I'm slipping. I gotta go. See, that's who MoneyB is. Like, it'd be some shit like that. I just learned fucking with y'all that he got a song with Devin. I didn't even know that. Like, I got to do my
got a song with Devin. You go look that up. You know, I've recorded with George Clinton, Parliament. You know,
come on.
A remix.
How about Duval? Duval is hilarious.
That's right.
You know, I was just with Duval. I just seen him the other day.
Wow, I'd love to get on one with Duval.
And we talked about it actually.
Wow,
that's crazy.
So that could be something that I would love to rock with Duval.
Oh my goodness!
That nigga said, because see, you know what's so funny? The living my best life. The thing that people don't like, people will sing that. I'm like, the part is I ain't going back and forth with you niggas. That's the line. That's the line. I was like, this guy is the greatest, man.
And what's so dope about it is
he's
exactly like how he is, how you think he is. He's that cool, right?
Yeah.
So he was chopping it up. This was a couple of days ago. He had a show out. It was Tanti's birthday. We went out.
That's crazy.
Pulled us on stage and everything, and we got to chop it up. I'll tell you a dope song that I did that people don't know, but I wish more people heard. Above the Law, their last album that they did. There's a song with me.
Yeah.
What's his name? Bullet Loco from San Diego.
Jail Felony.
Yeah, it's me, Jail Felony, Corrupt, and Hutch. I think it's just us four. It's a dope record, right? I'm gonna bring it back because I have a series that I do on Instagram. It's called Lost Verses. And what it is like I've done so much music that a lot of people haven't heard or maybe forgot about that I'm just pulling all these records and just doing my verse and just recreating a visual for it, just to put it out there for people could know, like, you know, because I got bars. And a lot of them have been missed. So I'm just like, you know, why not?
But you're still relevant and present.
Yep.
And I think that's important
on the mic, though.
Tonight.
Yep. Because like I'm saying, my bars from
keep
08 sound like today.
Like you guys just came off a tour, and I've been seeing like just the, you know, the videos and the crowds and how you guys are just so energetic. And I'm like, MoneyB has not missed a beat. You look the same way you looked 20-something years ago to me. How do you do it? Like, what is the key? B, because these rappers nowadays they don't look like you, baby. They don't look like you. They don't look like they kept themselves up, that they kept themselves, you know, active. And I just see that with you. And I just want to say,
that's great.
You know,
it's two things. First and foremost, I got to give maybe 75% of that to my parents, right? Because they look young as well. So that's just, you know, in the genes. And then I think the rest of it is just that, you know, stress will make you old. It'll age you, right? And so, you know, I just have this motto, like, I don't stress over things that I can't change. And, you know, I'm all about, you know, for me, there are no real problems. There's only solutions. So I don't like to talk about what's wrong. Like, I like to get to how do we fix it. Don't talk to me about what happened, what we did, what's wrong. It's like, let's start talking about how we're gonna fix it or move on or get to the next. So I don't allow these things behind me to get in front of me and cover my face.
Right.
Like a lot of people that I grew up with. You know, I forget how old I am until I go back to Oakland and be like, oh yeah, I went to school with them. That's how old I am. Because they, you know, they live their life. It's hard.
Yeah.
You know, and I respect it. You know what I mean? I'm not shitting on it, but that's a part of it, is that, you know, I've enjoyed most of my life. You know, I've had a good time.
That's right.
And I'm happy. You know,
I love it. I love that
That's
answer.
dope. That's dope.
Family and everything. So, and speaking of that, like I told you guys earlier, one other thing that makes me happy is coaching my son's football team. I told you guys that I would have to bounce, and I know Young Hump is going to continue to carry it.
I know.
But if it's a last question that I can answer for you guys that you really want to know, Mark, I know you're over there thinking about it.
Yeah, let me fire off real quick. I'm a mental health advocate. I have a mental health podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's called The Rant Mental Health Awareness. So I want to ask you, brothers, how does hip hop help you with your mental health? How does it help you get through your mental health and your anxiety?
Well, I sort of just explained it because, you know, hip hop has put me in a place where I don't have to deal with a lot of the ills that a lot of the people that I came up with have to deal with, you know, because it's friends of mine, people that I've grown up with. They have to get up and do something every day that they don't like to do. You know what I mean? They have to live in an area or live with people that they don't want to live with or be at, right? And that can stress you out. You know what I'm saying? I've been fortunate enough to just sort of, you know, I call myself the hip hop Forrest Gump. You know, I've been in a lot of places where it's like, oh yeah, I was there when that happened. And just and when we're talking about, not only have I been able to meet a lot of my heroes, but I've been appreciated by a lot of my heroes. You know, they acknowledge that I contributed to the culture. So once again, a lot of times when you don't know if you're good enough, or if you don't know if people like you, I've had that confirmation come, where now I don't need that confirmation from anybody. It's like nowadays, you know, I have new music, right? When I make new music, by the time I let you hear it, I already know that it's good. So when I play it for you, I say, you know, I'm asking you to judge my music, but really I'm judging you to see where you are with it. Because once I present it, it's dope to me. There's really nothing you can tell me. I just want to get the opinions of, okay, he's that person, or she's over there with that. It's not really changing how I feel about my music, because I make what I like these days. I'm not under the pressure of having to sell 300,000 records to be accepted or prove something to somebody. Like, I've done it. So it's very calming and relaxing, you know, for me to feel. I don't have any pressures when I'm doing what I'm doing. I just do it because I want to do it.
Dope answer.
That's why I look like this.
Thank you so much. I know you have to go. I know you have to go, Coach. Wish you guys all the success.
Yes, sir. And I know Young Hump is going to hold it down.
Is there anything else you want to say to your fans?
Well, yeah, just look out. New music is coming. You know, I got a couple of singles coming out. We got Sit Next to Me featuring Guadad 4000. Me and Young Hump. We got Dumb Out, produced by the Mechanics. That's coming right after that. I just came from Chicago, shot a video with a young artist. Her name is Sweet Juices. She got bars. You know, went out there, shot that video. So, you know, in these next couple of months, you're going to see a lot of MoneyB. You're going to see Young Hump. You're going to see Guapdad. You're going to see Sweet Juices. My autobiography, which is all these things I'm telling you, I go into extensively. And it's going to be an audio book where I'm telling it, you know, from me to you. I'm going to be talking about it. So I'm just excited about things to come. You know, check out the podcast, not the podcast. It's a streaming podcast on Twitch right now, but the Way Back Gaming Show, where I still share all of these stories and we play retro video games. And of course, catch Digital Underground in the city near you. Because when you hear about it, MoneyB and Young Hump is going to light that thing on fire. So you don't want to miss it. You know, as much as fun as it is listening to us, it's even more fun when you see us on the stage.
We there.
So Young Hump, hold it down for the brothers. And I appreciate you guys. And let's do it again. Mark, you know, have me on the rap. You know
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
All right.
I'm going to have time to set it up.
Let's make it pop.
All right.
All right,
family.
Great energy. Once again, condolences. You know what I mean?
Thank you, family.
I know how it is. And I'll have you in a minute.
Definitely. Love you, bro.
Miss TML, appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Yes, I appreciate you, King. Yes.
All right, you guys. I'll holler later.
Peace.
Hey.
The question you asked, I wanted to answer it, and I only got a few more minutes because I should get back to my family, but I got a few minutes for y'all. Yeah. I was going to say, you asked about hip hop, like help on effect on mental health.
Right.
There's a couple things came to mind. Like one thing that's really powerful is like, okay, the obvious is, you know, it's songs that bring us joy, can bring us some relief. I mean, damn, you know, like, you know, we could all, you know, listen to Dear Mama and feel something, but like I listened to a song by Busy Bone called Nobody Can Stop Me. And that song is a phenomenal song if you're going through something, just to kind of like take you into a place. But so there's that vibration, but another vibration is like if you angry and on some bullshit, you could find that perfect hip hop song that can just discharge all that energy and get it out your system. Like there's an old quote, some philosopher dude said, he said that we think so our ideas can die so that we don't have to die. Meaning I could just jump off the fucking side of this building, or I could think about it. If I jump off the side of the building, I would die. So I'm not gonna die. So the idea died and I don't have to die. So that's what I would think. So it's like in the same regard, I could, if a nigga pissed me off, I could listen to a song about blowing his bomba cloud head off. I'm not violent like that, y'all. I'm just saying. But if anybody for that matter had that type of feelings, they could listen to a song and feel that way and just get that energy out and and not do it, as opposed to just sitting there with no release for it. You know, so when you listen to artists like MOP or something that just be all of that shit, you know, it probably saved a lot of people from having to really unload. And there's a lot of manifestation. I mean, even the same way, you know, like with people frustrated when they little dating situation or whatever, there's a song, you know, bitches ain't shit, niggas ain't shit, or whatever the fuck, however they want to say it. But as much as when we listen to those songs, like here's a real jewel. And I've explained this to some people that ain't too kind to hip hop and said, listen, say what you want, but when you having a good day and you listen to a rapper tell you that the opposite sex ain't shit, well, then you could be like, damn, you know, why is he or she so hard on the opposite sex? But when you got your heart broke and you need something to just kind of get some of that edge off, and you can listen to, like, you know, from my generation, listening to Dog Pound or somebody telling you these bitches ain't shit, or now young girls might be listening to Doja Cat or whoever the fuck is talking about these niggas ain't shit. It can help you get over some shit real quick, and just kind of like, you know, Too Short has coached a lot of men from depression back to strength. And so when you understand, you know, music is magic, and songs are like magical instruments. So some of these songs are like tools. If you learn how to use certain songs, and you know, like I got playlists to keep me in certain moods, and I know when I'm fucked up, I go to this song, I go to that song. So for your mental health, because we know there's a lot of pressure out here, and we need those little bit of stress relievers and guidances to keep us from losing our mind. So
what were we just talking about the other day? We were talking about pandemic rappers. Like a lot of rappers came about during the pandemic, and I think that had a lot to do with what was going on. in a way for people to find an outlet to release. And people actually found that they were good at it. Some people, not everybody.
And them stimmy checks had niggas at Guitar Center.
Yeah, it did. Some smart motherfuckers made out.
Yeah, and also the people that might have had the bread. They might have had the bread, but between their life responsibilities, their job, you didn't get into the rhythm of doing shit, and now they had all plugging shit in and watching tutorials, and you know what I mean?
Right.
Real shit.
There's a tutorial on everything. How to scam, how to be a rapper, like there's a tutorial for everything now. So it's become very easy in a sense, I think. But I think that you've, shown so many different people that you can reinvent something and be great at it. And what would you say has been your best experience in the last 5 years doing music and meeting someone?
Ooh, the best. If I could give you one experience, not like basically it's not one time, it's happened numerous times, but like Mon said, there is absolutely nothing like meeting somebody you've admired for years, decades, and they already know who you are and respect your get down, and they greeting you like that. Not just like they greeting you like that. Like, like that shit is fucking amazing, man. Like, MoneyB didn't drop no names, so I ain't gonna drop no names. We're gonna keep it player from right now. But just some people that really mean a lot to a nigga, like that I've been loving since I was knee high to a duck. I've been loving these motherfuckers, and to meet them and they caught wind of what I do, and they be like, yo, I heard you get, like man, like for example, one individual hadn't heard me rhyme, and he was like, yo, I heard you get busy on that mic. Like, what's that in there? He hadn't heard nothing yet, but just the fact that a nigga of that echelon is talking to me like because the people he fucking with that are other people that are, group members of him and shit like that are telling him he knows what it. Like if MoneyB tells me that da-da-da's dope on the mic, I know da-da-da's dope on the mic. I don't have to hear it. MoneyB told me that. That's what it is. So those kind of experiences and getting to rock shows with those kind of people, and then bump elbows with them after the show, and they'd be like, yo, you did that. And it's not some old shit a motherfucker saying you to be nice because you really did that. You did that. You left it out there on the stage. And when they saying it to you, it ain't no politeness. It's because you might see them talk to somebody else that doesn't do it like that on the stage, and they ain't saying what they saying to you. So those be the moments, because niggas like us, we got into this shit. We ain't get into this shit. Like, of course, when we first got into this shit, we didn't get into this shit thinking of no money or success. We got into this shit for the love and just wanting to be like the people that we, just real art shit. And then, soon later it comes, it would be nice to get paid, be nice to be lit and successful. But the initial thing from the cloth that we come from is just, huh? What you say? What you say? I'm sorry. I thought you said something.
No, okay. I didn't say anything.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So anyways, yeah. So that's just a beautiful thing just to experience. Like that's the thing that means. I mean, of course, there've been epic shows on stage with epic artists, and your boy Young Hump's had some epic moments of his own off stage. But you know what I mean? Like just that those moments with those people that I've admired forever, giving me love for what I do and what I bring to the table, and also too, in my case in particular, you know what I mean? Like, Shock G choosing me to do what I do. And I've been doing it for going on 8 years. And, Shock's, has only been gone for, like 2 years. It's like, some people don't know that Shock chose me, and they don't understand. Some people don't know, some people do. Either way, people come up to me like, yo, you honoring him the right way. And, he'd be proud, and yo, you doing that. And like, because that's a different thing. It's like there's a standard that's cut out for me that's unique that only I experience. Like whatever MCing I'm doing, whatever rhyming I'm doing, whatever I'm doing, all of that separate is whatever that is. But when I get on the stage as Young Hump, it's like, and that's what I'm doing. There's a standard to live up to. So I'm not judged just as like anybody could have a homie that they watch rap and you could just be like, you doing this thing. But with me, it's like that nigga better bring it because Shock always brought it. So so I've had a lot of shows where motherfuckers is looking at me like with the show me something, homie, kind of like energy. And I show them something every time. And you know, that doesn't mean everybody walks up and says something, but no one's ever walked up to me and said, you didn't do what you were supposed to. There's some people that don't like a nigga because that's the type of person they are. But most people, like, I've had more experiences where people come up to me and tell me, like, I'm gonna be honest, at first I really didn't know what to think about you. I really wasn't feeling this, but yo, you did that. You got it, bro. So those moments, they mean a lot to me.
Word.
I love it. I know you have to go, but I have one more question. Tell me, what is your most favorite song to perform and why?
Do What You Like. Without question.
I know
everybody says not the Humpty Dance, and as fun as the Humpty Dance is, it's not like Do What You Like is at 10 and Humpty Dance is at 5. It would be like, if I have to pick one over the other, I'm gonna pick Do What You Like, because one, it's me and Mun back and forth, so we get the interaction, and I love bouncing off with him. Two, the arrangement of the song is very unorthodox, and I'm a fan of unorthodox arrangements. One of the things that I can't stand about modern rap music is the shit's made in cubicles, 8-ball hook, 16-ball verse, 8-ball hook. It's just so repetitive, just the structures. And I like shit to be, back in the day, a nigga just hit you with a 24-ball verse, and then come with a 8, maybe give you a 12-ball hook, and then give you an 8-ball verse, and then give you like just fucking art. It's supposed to be colorful, creative, and artistic, not just a formula. And so Do What You Like is bizarre. Plus, it's just got all these funny lines that we get to play with and do different. I mean, I do wild shit on the Humpty Dance, don't get me wrong, but Do What You Like is just, it's just something about it. It feels like, it feels more like when we're performing Humpty Dance, I feel like I'm driving a train in the movie Trading Places, like when the train at the end, and I'm like driving the train. But when we do What You Like, I feel like I'm being thrown inside of like a spinning Mardi Gras. So I'd rather just be in the Mardi Gras spinning than worried about some train tracks. If that makes sense.
Right.
But I love
Mark,
it. It's like,
do you have
if
any
I
last
had to do it,
questions?
huh?
I just want to say I appreciate you, cuz, man. You got a lot of love out here that you probably don't even understand.
Thank you, man.
I just appreciate you. I appreciate you too, Queen, for even, taking the time to let me be on with these brothers, because you know what this meant to me. So I just appreciate you, King, and I'm gonna stay linked up. I'm gonna stay in contact, man. I'm supporting everything going on.
Please do remind when you hit me in the DM and IG, remind me who you are, because sometimes my DMs will get dumb flooded and I'll be forgetting who like the name sometimes. So just remind me who you are so I know and shit. Because the coldest shit in the world be sometimes people hit me in the DM and I don't know who it is, because you know how Instagram, but you can fuck around and forget who somebody is, and then they be like, and they come at you later and you be like, you ain't say nothing. I'm like, I didn't know that was you. Like,
nigga, right? But all you gotta say is the Snoop looking motherfucker.
I know.
Yo, much love to y'all. I really appreciate y'all, for real.
Much love. We send our condolences to you and your family.
Right.
Thank you so much.
You and your family in our prayers, and I wish you nothing but the success that you deserve.
Thank you, Queen. Appreciate y'all, and it's a beautiful thing, and we're gonna keep rocking it. Don't stop. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Much love. All right.
All right.
Oh, by the way, by the way, before the end of this year, I'm gonna drop a mixtape, and I'm gonna drop uh, a solo video, and of course, me and Money B got the video together too. So, bunch of stuff coming before the new year. So, we'll keep y'all up to date on those things.
Word.
Yes,
All
that's
right, y'all.
what we do.
Appreciate y'all.
In the loop.
Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna go back in here and hug on my family a little more. And once again, this is Nan's Chair, live from Nan's Chair. This is a special interview because this is the only interview that I ever have done or will do from Nan's Chair in Nan's room. And that means a lot to me. So that's why I listed it. I'm grandson of Nan, the first of the Nans, on some Lord of the Rings shit. You know what I mean? So Lord of the grandson of the Nans. So appreciate y'all.
I love it, Hump. You have a great night.
All right, we'll talk to you. You too. Appreciate y'all. Peace.
Thank you. Bye.
Wow.
Bro.
Damn, you did that, Queen.
Moment.
That was hip hop.
Was that a moment for you? I'm gonna cry. Like, I didn't want to cry while I was on. I was like, dude, this is like, I had so much to say, so much I wanted to get out. We're representing Tupac today in memorial of his passing today, 27 years ago today. The world changed, I think, in regards to hip hop, and we knew how fragile life was, even for a rapper who was at his peak. And we still experience that today. And I think that just seeing people that were around him still being influential, still doing things in this culture that are relevant and that people want to hear, and people still want to hear that digital underground sound. They still want to hear that Humpty Hump, verse and things like that. So I think it was important to have him today for so many different reasons. And I just got so much from that today.
Yeah.
And I hope you did too.
I definitely did, and I definitely appreciate you. And before I get out of here, I always give you your flowers, but I do want to say this. I've never heard that man on an interview before, never, till today. So I give you that. Like, I watch a lot. I do a lot of podcasting now, and I'm a vivid Pac. I know everybody that was next to Pac. You know what I'm saying? And I never seen him in the interview before. Thank you.
I felt like, when you said that last week and how you were so inspired by Pac and just everything that you had to say last week. And I said, oh my God, I meant to say this while we were talking. And I got so caught up because there was so much going on that I wanted you to be the co-host for this interview today. And then I realized when I announced it that was the day that Pac was shot. And then I realized that we're doing the interview is on the day of his death. And one of the things that I think that, we think about as Tupac fans is, I want to say a Tupac, enthusiast is because, one of the things you go back and you remember about this day is where you were this in time. And I remember I was at work in Needham, Massachusetts, and we had to hear it over the radio. And I don't know, I can't remember exactly what radio station it was, but it was like the world stopped.
It did. It did.
I asked that question today, and I know you asked that question today on your social media. And we got a lot of feedback and a lot of responses. People, just expressed, where they were. It was like the 9/11. It was like 9/11 to us. Tupac was dead.
I actually stole it from you and reworded it a little different.
Oh, you did? Okay. I was like, like those things are things that, me and my people always talk about. We always talk about when we bring up Tupac. Where were you when you found out Tupac was, died and had passed away? And people were, just so skeptical because he lived through the last, altercation that he had where he was shot 7 times. So it was like for us, we thought he was like at that point untouchable, you know, and it was just so surreal. I remember it so vividly, and I think that's the part of me that I'll never forget. That's a day in life that I'll never forget how I felt, and how I felt that I was supposed to meet this guy. Like, this guy was supposed to be someone I met in life, and today we got to meet and be in an interview with one of his close friends and band members, group members. It's like, I feel like this was manifested in some way for both of us. And
I do.
Everything happened the way it's supposed to happen for a reason. And I felt honored that I got to share this with you, because I see the influence that Pac has made on you, you know, and
right now.
Just, you know, the breed of people that he's created are prevalent right now in today's society. So yeah, look at that.
That's them right there. They go money right there.
Yep. That was one of the pictures. Look at that.
Yeah,
MoneyB doesn't look like he aged not one day in his life.
He doesn't. And
like you said, Mark, no stress. I tell people, like, they're like, why do you still look the same that you looked 20 years ago? You know why? Because I don't let things consume me. I deal with it and I let it go. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's important to understand in mental health, is not to be consumed by your thoughts and by your worries.
100%.
And it's hard. It's not easy. You know what I mean? Like, anxiety is not easy. It's sometimes I didn't even realize that I had anxiety and I was dealing with anxiety, you know, and I still deal with it. And I have to remind myself, how do I get myself out of this rut? How do I get myself back to focus and back to balance? And being a master of those things is important. When I was thinking this morning, I was thinking about our interview tonight and how you said, you know, one of the books that you would recommend would be The Art of War. And then you said, no, I don't think I would recommend that. But one of the things that I got from The Art of War was discipline and understanding how important discipline is.
You're right. You're right.
You know, so I think that that's a part of, you know, how you become successful is you have discipline, you have structure. And I think that was one of my, you know, takeaways from our conversation about that. And just one of your also recommendations was a Tupac, that Resurrection, right?
No, it was the Rose from the Concrete.
Was it
Rose from the Concrete?
Was it the movie?
No, it was the Rose from the Concrete.
The Tupac.
Yeah.
The Rose from the Concrete. Okay. So yeah, that for me was like, listen, I need Mark to be on this and just be a part of this.
Yeah, that right there was a blessing right there. I can't even tell you how much I'm appreciative. I got to go to work tonight. I'm going to be at work on a different type of level, because I love, before I get out of here, I love to go to work after I accomplish something in my field, something that I do. You know what I'm saying? And I feel good about going to work for somebody else for a couple of hours. Yeah.
That's right. To fulfill the rest of those dreams.
100%. 100%. So, you know, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, bro. More to come, more success, bigger platforms, and I just appreciate you for tuning in and tapping in and being in the loop tonight.
Always.
Look at, we got, it's really this Cindy, Auntie Cindy in the building, Priscilla Lewis, Auntie Scylla, I see you. Miss Leslie, go Mark.
Blessings to everybody in the building.
Thomas Scott, I see you. Melissa, I see you. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are now signing off. Real Talk with TML, the legendary MoneyB, Young Hump, Digital Underground, Tupac tribute. We did it.
We did it.
And it was a great time. Thank you, Mark.
Love.
Yeah.
the strongest fan of what's your life. We got to go dancing. Everybody do what's your life. All I want to see is got to go dancing. Do what's your life. And we got to go dancing. Do what's your life. Somebody say, oh, 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 oh.
Legendary MoneyB.
Hold up, slow down, baby. I'm trying to holler on that EPMD tip. Yeah.
Take me for a clown, we can keep it on the down low, long as you know that I get around. Bump around the cup and jump and stop them like I kill a tiptoe.
Now you listening to Prime Stars music. Prime Stars, Prime Stars.
What people gotta really understand, nobody gotta support you, first of all. So I used to take that personal. I used to be like, damn, nobody's supporting me, nobody's playing my records, nobody's really rocking with me in the city like that. And then I realized it's not personal. You just gotta make them a believer. If they don't believe you tomorrow, cool. Focus on who is rocking with you, and then you circle back and you come get them on the way back.
You gotta understand that this is about marketing. Like, this whole thing is about marketing. It's about your image. It's about your story. You gotta be appealing to people. A lot of artists just have MySpace and just have, you know, a couple songs and don't have a website, don't have marketing.